Live for Speed genuinely changed my life. And now it's finally back with its next era. New visuals, graphics, and a day-night cycle, and I can't wait to try it. Hi guys, Chris down at TorqueSector Sim. Now, this video is a little bit different. If you can see behind me, we're in a hotel room. Now I'm away for work this week, and that would normally mean one thing. It's a week away from the family, it's a week away from the simulator, it's a week away from being able to do anything for YouTube. But past few days, some things just dropped that I had to talk about, and it set me on a bit of a chain, really. So Live for Speed has just announced its next era update. Now, public testing is going to start in a few days, and I can't wait to see you down here to have a look at it. But it hit me in the nostalgia, and it reminded me of, well, how I got here and why I'm even doing this. So instead of sitting here doing absolutely nothing, I thought it would be a good opportunity to pull out the camera and tell you guys the story. I wanted to share with you where sim racing came from, how I find myself here on YouTube, and just how much I owe to those three developers making this sim. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a slightly different tilt from TorqueSector Sim. So let me take you back a few years to where all of this really started. I was doing some local karting, and a good friend of mine, who's still a friend of mine today, told me about this sim. It was called Live for Speed, and I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. Now, I signed up for this sim on the 16th of June 2007. I was 12 years old at the time. I loaded it up. I jumped in with my G25 wheel back in those days, and I was hooked. The physics, the handling, the competition, it all felt real, and I felt like I'd finally found my thing. I lived on pickup racing servers to begin with, driving the XFG around Blackwood. I was drifting. I even went on the good old crew servers to muck about. I was lost in it. After school, the first thing I would do would be to hop on Live for Speed. This was my Call of Duty back in the 2000s. This is what I sank my time on. This is where I was every night, far too late on. And then I discovered league racing. ITCC, the Masters of Endurance, the GT Amateur League, even my first 24-hour races and my first exposure to real endurance racing came from Live for Speed, and it excited me so much. I just wanted to keep doing it every single day. From there, I truly joined the community. I was part of some huge teams with some huge sim races. I even started commentating on some of those races.
Find that gap from Gasunas. Now Gasunas in the driver's seat. The white flag comes out, and here comes Petula hitting a wall even.
Now, some of you back from the good old days of the Live for Speed community might remember me more for my voice and my talking than they ever did from my driving. Now, I commentated with some fantastic guys on some of the biggest sim races. We're talking the Kyoto 500, which was huge back in the day, where before we had the likes of iRacing. This was the cutting edge, and it was the most competitive place to be in the sim racing space. And it was my calling. But here's the thing. None of this existed in the real world for me. I held back my sim racing, and I held back the creation from everybody I knew in the outside world because it was embarrassing. It wasn't what people did. People went home and played Call of Duty. They didn't talk over sim races on the internet. That was weird. I knew that sharing what I loved with people was what worked for me, what was right for me, but it wasn't a career. It wasn't what people did, and I couldn't take it anywhere. So I did what everybody did. I went to university, and I lost sim racing out of my life. I couldn't take the rig to uni. What would people think? I couldn't talk over races from my dorm room because what would people say about me? And from there, for years, sim racing wasn't the passion builder that it used to be. I lost it. Everything started going downhill. University didn't go well. I dropped out. Anxiety started creeping in, depression. It was hard. And I've had some incredible moments in my life. I have the most incredible wife who supports me with everything under the sun. And I have a nearly 4-year-old daughter that is just an absolute angel. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. But my passion, I got pushed to the side because that's what adults do. That's what a man of the house does. And I suffered for it. Then in March of this year, as a 30-year-old man, I was diagnosed with ADHD. And with that, everything started to make sense. Why I felt everything so much harder than everybody else around me. Why I burned out so fast and didn't have the energy to dig into what I loved. And why losing such a huge passion in my life in sim racing and motorsport and sharing that with the community, why it hurt so much. My whole perspective changed. I realized that I need my passions, not just as a hobby, but as part of who I am, as part of my identity. Sim racing, creating, community, it makes me feel free. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel like I'm doing what I should be doing. And that's why I'm here now. That's why I'm building TorqueSector and TorqueSector Sim. That's why I'm giving this everything that I've got. And honestly, the support, the growth already in just a few weeks of coming back into this world has been incredible. I've received some amazing messages, huge amounts of support from you guys, and it makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. But thank you as well has to go to Live for Speed, because without it, where would I be? I'm not doing this, I'll tell you that much for now. So what can we expect in the future? Well, we're only at the start of our journey. There is so much to come. First job is to get out of this hotel room and get back in front of the steering wheel. But from there, we're going to be exploring not only this new Live for Speed update, we have new iRacing content, we have more exciting races to delve into, we have Assetto Corsa Evo, we have Assetto Corsa Rally, we've got Race Room, we've got R Factor 2. The sim community and the sim options have never been better. So guys, if you want to join me on that journey, if you want to help, like and subscribe, join the sector, get involved, because I want to involve every single one of you in this journey. So thanks if you've made it this far, because I know it's different. But let's keep going.